Good morning, students, and welcome to another digital classroom of St. Michael's Academy. So today I am going to start structure of atom. Already in my previous Zoom class, I have given you the basic idea of an atom. So now I am going to start the chapter. So let's start. So we are starting our today's class with cathode and anode ray. Cathode rays, also called an electron beam or an E-beam, are streams of electrons observed in vacuum tubes. If an evacuated, that means empty glass tube, is equipped with two electrodes and a voltage is applied, electrodes, you should be remembered that cathode and anode, two electrodes are there. The glass opposite the negative electrode is observed to glow from electrons emitted from the cathode. Actually, among the subatomic particles, electron was discovered first. Cathode rays produced by passing electric discharge from high potential source through a gas at very low pressure, that is 0.01 millimeter of Hg, that is mercury. Please follow your book also. In a glass tube provided with two metallic electrodes. You can see the first diagram. It has been clearly shown in a glass tube. Blue color cathode ray is passing from cathode to anode. A stream of invisible ray is emitted from the surface of the cathode, which moves in straight line towards the anode with a high velocity. These rays are called the cathode rays as they originate at the cathode. This is the definition of cathode ray. Now, what are the properties of cathode ray or characteristics of cathode ray? These rays affect photographic plate. The rays cause fluorescence on the glass wall where they impinge or strike. That means the opposite side wall, that means anode side wall, actually they form a fluorescent green color light. Fluorescent green. The rays travel rapidly in straight lines perpendicular to the cathode towards the anode. You can see this is just a straight line which is perpendicular to the cathode surface. The rays are deflected from the straight line towards the positive pole of the electric and magnetic field, which indicates that cathode rays are negatively charged. So this is the actually introduction of invention of electron. Now see the diagram carefully. Ray that is passing straight, it is deflecting, but whenever it is deflecting towards the positive charge. It proves that this ray must carry some negatively charged particles, which is actually electron. So from this observation, J.J. Thomson concluded that cathode rays are composed of very minute negatively charged particles. This particle is symbolized as E or 0E minus 1. 0 mass number, that means electron has negligible mass. That means it is it's not heavy actually, and minus 1 is the atomic number. That means it's charged. Here it's charged by J.G. Stoney. The electrons produced from any source have the same ratio of charge and mass. That is, E by M ratio of electrons are always same. E for electron, M for mass. From this, it is concluded that the atoms of all materials contain electron and nature of these electrons are alike. Now, coming to the next one, that is anode ray. First, you see the diagrams. A very good diagram I have given. From anode ray is passing towards cathode, and from cathode ray is passing towards anode. One is green color, another one is white color balls. You can see. So an anode ray, also positive ray or canal ray, is a beam of positive ions that is created by certain types of gas discharge tubes. They were first observed in Crookes tubes during experiments by the German scientist Eugen Goldstein in 1886. So atom is electrically neutral. It contains negatively charged electron. After invention of electron, scientists thought that there are negatively charged electrons in an atom. But atoms are ultimately neutral. So that means within an atom there should be positively charged particles also there, the amount of which will be as same as the negatively charged electron. On the basis of this thought, they started the experiments. So it must contain equal number of positively charged particles. That means atom must contain positively charged particle. This fact led to the search for the positively charged particle in the atom. When electric discharge is passed through the rarefied gas in a cathode ray tube having a perforated metallic disc acting as the cathode. Please see the second diagram. Perforated means, I think you know which is hole, that green color perforated disc. Acting as the cathode, E. Goldstein noticed that luminous rays emerging in straight lines from the hole in the cathode and moving with high speed in a direction opposite to the cathode rays. These rays are called positive rays or anode ray. These positively charged rays are composed of very minute positively charged particles called protons. The same proton was suggested by Rutherford. At present, a proton is symbolized by capital P, or another symbol of proton is H plus. Hope so you have remembered. In my live class, I'll ask you. If the lightest gas, hydrogen, is taken in discharge tube, the positive rays emitted from this has the highest E by M value, that is 1 by 1830 part that of E divided by M, that means mass of electron. So it can be said that the positively charged species, which is produced by expulsion of electron from a hydrogen atom, H, is the proton H plus. That means from hydrogen atom, if one electron has been taken, only one proton will be left over there. So another symbol or formula of proton is H plus. After the discovery of two fundamental particles, for example electrons in cathode ray experiment and protons in anode ray experiment inside an atom, J.J. Thomson was the first one to propose a model for the structure of an atom in 1897. So this model is called Thomson's model or Thomson's plum pudding model. In short, in Thomson's model, the atom is composed of electrons surrounded by a soup of positive charge to balance the electrons' negative charges. Like negatively charged plums surrounded by positively charged pudding, so that it is called plum pudding model. The 1904 Thomson model was discovered by Hans Geiger and Ernest Marsten's 1909 gold foil experiment. First you see the diagram. Diagram, it has been clearly shown. First diagram, positively charged pudding, the light brown portion, and the chocolate color one negatively charged palms. It's a plum pudding model. Like if we'll compare this with atomic structure, it will come. See in the second diagram then. Spherical cloud of positive charge, yellow color, that is positive one. And the blue color negative one are electrons which are embedded within this positive charge. So you can say, according to Thomson, an atom consists of a positively charged sphere and the electrons are embedded in it. Number 2, the positively charged protons and the negatively charged electrons are equal in number and magnitude. That's why an atom is neutral, because total number of positive charge in an atom is equal to total number of negative charge. Popularly, this model is called plum pudding model because it is alike currants, that's a dry fruits, in a spherical Christmas pudding. Thomson's atomic model explained the electrical neutrality of an atom, but the results of experiment carried out by other scientists could not be explained by the model because there are some drawbacks, and from this drawback the next one or next model has came, that is Rutherford model, and Rutherford gold foil experiment has also came. So in my next slide or next video or in next Zoom class I'm going to discuss this. But before that, I've given you an assignment. Obviously, along with the assignment, in page number 63 in your book, there is a table. Already you have read this table in class 8. One more time, recapitulate this table because this table is very, very important in this class also. So students, are you ready for your assignment? First question, differentiate cathode and anode ray. Please do the differentiation column wise. Otherwise, I'll not give you marks. Second question, describe cathode and anode ray experiment with suitable diagram. These two diagrams from your book you have to draw in your copy. Please remember. Number 3, mention the demerits or drawbacks of Thomson's plum pudding model. This is in this question also you have to draw the plum pudding model diagram. So these 3 diagrams are necessary. Please draw the diagram along with the assignment. For any doubts or queries, please email me at sudeshna1.sma@outlook.com, or you can share your doubts or queries in my Zoom class also. We also welcome your responses by way of your views and feedback on PPTs or videos at feedback.stmichaelsacademy@gmail.com. Thank you students and have a nice day.